Hello there guys, welcome back to 777 messages. So today I'm doing something a little bit different and a little bit more interesting. Okay, so I have a list of all the zodiac signs here, and I'm going to do a short important message for each and every zodiac sign. So go down into the description down below and you'll see timestamps for each and every zodiac sign. Pick yours and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, my beautiful Aries people, my favorite fire signs of all time. This is a message for you. So we have the star on the back of the deck. I was planning to pull like 4 cards, but we have 6 coming out, and it's interesting. So we have the 9 of Cups clarified by the 8 of Wands, 4 of Wands clarified by the Sun, the Page of Pentacles clarified by the King of Pentacles. So a lot of yellow energy here and a lot of blue energy. So something about the maybe throat chakra and the connection to the solar plexus, expressing more of who you are. Now the overall energy is the star, which is telling me that you might be going through some great healing at this time, and this period of time might be you stepping into this star energy, into who you truly are. Even though my Aries have no issue with being who they truly are, a lot of the times they're very go-getters type of energy. And I love Aries so much because they're very great manifestors. Like, you know, they want something, they go after that, like no cap. So there could be emotional healing that is happening at this time, or there could be some wishes that are coming true, because we do have the 9 of Cups and the 8 of Wands here. So I feel like universe wants you to really maybe focus on what you want, focus on your desires, or if you're working towards your dreams and goals or something that is really fulfilling, you have the ability to focus and to take action, to like literally go right after that, like almost like a bull towards the red like fabric, you know what I mean? Or there could be multiple things that you're wishing upon that will be coming true. Now, I love that the center of the reading is 4 of Wands and the Sun, which is giving me the energy of stability, celebration. Maybe some of y'all birthday could be significant, or I feel like a lot of celebration and a lot of happiness and stability is coming your way. And it's because you are the one cultivating it. You are the one creating this for yourself. You might also have an opportunity to express yourself, to express your emotions, or somebody might express something to you, or somebody might offer something to you. Maybe a water sign, doesn't have to be, but I do feel like maybe you do have the opportunity to express more of yourself, especially if you're maybe more emotionally reserved at this time, because King of Cups is a very emotionally mature energy, but King of Cups also holds back a little bit, or has this kind of, not controlled, but what's the word, contained emotions, right? And the Page of Pentacles is kind of like the energy of like an opportunity, or like a potential for an opportunity. So I almost wonder if like in the next period of time you might be expressing more of your emotional field, or you will feel called to express more of your emotions. Now, if you're wondering about a certain person in your life, I feel like this might be something or someone that you really want, and right now this connection might be going through this healing phase, this renewal phase, or like you might have hopes about this connection. But I feel like both of you could be like in this hopeful energy with the star as well. And I feel like this connection might need a little bit more focus, or kind of the intention behind the actions that are being taken. Even though there is an opportunity for a lot of happiness, I do feel like in the next period of time, I feel like good things will be happening for you. You might get some wishes fulfilled, as I said already, like, or something that you wished upon a star, literally, might be coming your way. I feel like in the next period of time, you might be seeing a lot of things happening. You know, this card to me is actually a card of blessings, and like a lot of blessings coming at you, because all these wands are kind of pointed energy at something. It's a very fast moving energy. So there might be certain things in your life that will be happening really fast, especially pertaining to the things that you want or the wishes that you have. Also emotional fulfillment. I feel like you're moving steadily and like focusedly into more emotional fulfillment that I feel like is allowing you to enjoy yourself, maybe enjoy your home, enjoy something with your loved ones, or like a person that is really on your mind that you really care about. I feel like you will have the opportunity to express your emotions, or to express how you truly feel. Or this person might come forward and tell you something that might play an important role in healing. Maybe healing, you know, the overthinking, because we have the 9 of Cups kind of hidden here. So 9 of Cups, I said Nine of Cups. Nine of Swords kind of hidden here. So if there has been any overthinking, I feel like you're moving into a version of yourself that understands how, you know, overthinking can make us spiral in our thoughts that are not even real, but our brain likes to make us feel like it's real, when in reality we don't really know. And most of the time when we overthink, it's only harmful for us, and it's only like ever stopping our own progress. Especially in connections, when we overthink the shit out of connections, we're blocking the flow of that energy. So the message for you is definitely that you will have the opportunity to express yourself, or somebody to express something to you, but this will be something tangible, something real. Like a Page of Pentacles is like a potential for a new beginning in a sense, in a connection. But I'm seeing a lot of positive energy. So with the sun as well, there is clarity, that is a sunny energy, beautiful days coming in, that I feel like you will feel very, very much, I feel like more focused on what it is that you're doing and how you want to move forward. You might also be stepping into the star energy, like being really seen, being admired, having a lot of inspiration coming to you, like the things that you want to do, and actually pursuing that, actually doing that, which I absolutely love. So yeah, this is a message for you, my dear Aries. I love you so much. See you in the next video. Hello, my beautiful Taurus. Today, let's see a small important message for you. Now, I have pulled some cards already. We have Nine of Swords clarified by the Queen of Swords, Three of Pentacles clarified by the Knight of Wands, the Star clarified by the Fool, and the Moon. And we have the Queen of Wands on the back of the deck, which I really love. So what is the small message for you? So the first thing that is standing out to me is this Nine of Swords and the Queen of Swords. I'm not sure if there is something in your life that you're overthinking right now, or there is some anxiety pertaining to something. Now, with the Queen of Swords clarifying that, it could be a conversation that was held. It could be some kind of a communication or some form of thought. Maybe even boundaries. Queen of Swords is very assertive. She's very like, I don't know if you've set boundaries with somebody recently, or like you've expressed what you need, or there was a conversation that you might be wondering if it was the right thing to do, because it could have created maybe a little pause or a little bit of a withdrawal from somebody's end. This could be about a connection, this could be about a relationship, or this could be genuinely in your life, the way that you assert yourself, the way that you stand in your power. You know, the overall energy here is truly the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is the most confident in the deck, and I feel like you really do have that energy. You might be very intuitive. You might pick up on a lot right now, or I do feel like you have a sense of like beauty to you. You might be very beautiful. You know, Tauruses are very like ruled by Venus, a planet of beauty and love, which like, I mean, every Taurus that I know is literally so gorgeous. Like, I don't even know. Sometimes, you know, sometimes when you're really beautiful, people get a little bit intimidated by that. And especially people who maybe are a little bit insecure. Maybe there is somebody testing you in that sense, maybe. But I feel like if you've been setting some boundaries, or if you've been really thinking about how are you going to assert yourself in your confidence, I feel like you're really standing your ground in whatever was spoken or whatever it was said. I feel like you might be expecting to maybe you want to be recognized for something, or this conversation or these boundaries. You might want some form of an action towards building something, or you feel like this might help you build foundations, maybe within a connection, or maybe in your personal life. But I feel like you have the ability, or you have the if you're looking for inspiration, I feel like it's something that can be like really waited on, but rather created through things that you like doing. But there might be like some anxiety that might be stopping the flow of this energy of like wanting to build something, wanting to work on something. You're stepping into a new cycle. I feel like whatever is happening right now when it comes to you know, because we have the two feminine energies here. So I wonder if this is your friend or somebody you like. You might have a conversation, or there was something said, I feel like, that asserted you in a certain position here. Now, the Three of Pentacles is telling me that your hard work, or the way that you stand in your power, is being recognized. I feel like if you've been changing, if you've been transforming, people all around you, I feel like feel that energy. I feel like you have kind of the upper hand in something, or, you know, with these Three of Pentacles, I see this figure kind of being above all of these two. So I almost wonder if like You'll be getting some kind of a promotion, a bigger position, or you feel like you're in some form of a leadership role with the Queen of Wands as well. Or maybe you're leading a certain situation in your life right now. But I feel like you do have kind of the upper hand, or you're being recognized for I feel like your patience, the communication, the things that have been said are being recognized and being integrated. Now, I feel like that there is this new beginning happening for you right now in the emotional field with the star as well. You might be stepping into more of who you are, being unapologetic about who you are. But, you know, the star is also about healing and renewal energy, and we have the Fool as well, which is also giving me these new beginnings, where I feel like maybe you're stepping into a version of yourself that is being fully seen, that is not being afraid of how others perceive you, being more confident. I feel like there could be definitely something about confidence right now that is rising. And you know, the moon is the unknown, it's the unpredictable energy, it's the feminine energy. Maybe you're tapping into or healing your feminine energy, or stepping into a cycle where you need to trust more or lean more into your feminine energy. You know, feminine energy is the energy of allowing, the energy of you know, you don't always know, like living in the unknown, literally, because you don't always know what's going to happen. But if you can believe that it's going to happen for the best way possible, you're kind of left there like, you know, I don't chase, I attract kind of energy. But being in an attracting energy is also trusting, you know, trusting that like whatever it is that you desire will come your way, even if you can't see clearly. There might be some illusions or some fears that are breaking at this time, and that you're freeing yourself from, which is really beautiful. Now, it's interesting because with Queen of Swords here, you know, Queen of Swords is a little bit of a masculine energy in the feminine, because she's very sure of herself. She is very like assertive, very like much dominant energy. So I almost wonder if like there is healing, a profound healing in your masculine versus feminine energy. And it doesn't matter what you identify as. I feel like it's more of the aspects of self that are being integrated right now. And you're learning that it's okay to assert yourself in a certain situation. It's okay to say, what the fuck you mean, queen? There was 12-12 on the timer. Maybe 12-12 is significant for someone. Like, you can assert yourself, and you can you know, your masculine, like especially if you're a feminine, your masculine energy is helping you assert yourself in a way that like makes people respect you, respect your boundaries, respect your time and energy. But also, you know, when leaning into the feminine energy means, you know, not maybe trying to control things, or not always knowing how certain things are going to play out in your life, but trusting that it can happen for the best. So if you know, and it's interesting because feminine energy, or like the masculine energy in the feminines, can be a sign of like a survival mode, especially when that energy is very dominant in us, and it's very difficult to step into being more feminine, like and being more feminine meaning like laying back, you know, letting people maybe handle things for you, or be just like allowing things to unfold without trying or needing to know what's the exact outcome of a certain situation. So I feel like you're definitely moving into this more healing energy, where I feel like you might in the next season feel very confident, feeling very seen. There might be something about your body that is changing. If you've been working on your body, like definitely like the changes are being seen. I feel like you might be recognized or seen. You might also be very inspiring for other people. I feel like you might not notice this at all, but I feel like you might be a guiding star for a lot of people in your life, or you might... I feel like you do inspire a lot of people. And the way that you do things, I feel like you have the kind of creative ability to really navigate a lot of situations in your life. And it makes you really powerful. So yeah, I do feel like if you... if there is any anxiety in you, I feel like you're moving into a season where I feel like you're healing this in a way that is, I feel like, allowing you to maybe take more leaps of faith, take more risks in life, and allowing things to unfold as they should. I feel like there might be something about a future or something about the new cycle that you're stepping in where you don't really know how it's going to pan out. But I feel like if you're willing to trust it, if you're willing to stand in your power, especially if you've set some boundaries, if you said something, really standing by it, really owning what you said, or how you are. Now, I do kind of relate to this energy, because, you know, when you set certain boundaries, especially with like a person that you really like, the person that is really on your mind, there is almost always like this pause, and you give them like the space and time to think about what you just said, because like, especially if like you are changing a dynamic of a certain connection by asserting yourself, like, you know, not kind of maybe settling for less or like expecting a more from the person. There needs to be kind of this time and energy for this person to kind of like understand that they cannot come in the same, which in return makes them take time to transform. And sometimes that leaves us like, did we do the right thing? Like, you know, what if this person, like, I've said what I needed and what I wanted, and what if they don't, like, literally don't text back, don't respond? What if they don't do anything about this? But the power of the feminine energy is that trusting, is that understanding that, like, you know, this person might show up. I want them to show up, so they might as well show up, but I'm going to keep standing my ground, keep standing in my confidence and what I said that I need and I want. And with this energy, you're able to, I feel like, subconsciously affect a person because they cannot come in the same. And it's interesting because we have 2 pages here. Oh, look at that. Behind the Queen of Wands, look at this. 2 pages. You might receive a text from that person. If you're thinking about a specific person, there might be a conversation that is going to be held, and this one is going to be more, I feel like, more initiative, but at the same time, I feel like a confession or expression of a kind. And it's interesting, we have the Ace of Wands here as well. Somebody might take, if you're wondering, somebody might take initiative here, especially if you assert yourself. Don't overthink what you said or what you know that you need in this connection. It doesn't have to be romantic, you know, it can be anything. But look at that, we have the 6 of Pentacles here as well. So you are expecting reciprocated energy, and I feel like you're stepping into this cycle where a lot is healing, and this new cycle might be something that is completely new to you. You know, the Fool energy is like something that is completely new, like you haven't gone through this before. And with the Moon, it is the unpredictable energy. It is like the unknown. You don't really know where it's going. But I feel like as long as you stand in your power, in your confidence, and you know what you want and need, yeah, you have to be met halfway, but you have to stand firmly in that. Okay, so my dear Taurus, this is what I have for you right now, and yeah, I love you so much. See you in the next reading. Hello, my gorgeous, beautiful Geminis. I have a short message for you today, so listen up. So I have some cards in front of me. We have 7 of Cups clarified by the Devil, Queen of Swords clarified by the King of Pentacles, the High Priestess clarified by the 8 of Cups, and we have the 2 of Swords on the back of the deck. Okay, so this is a short message for you. Now, it's interesting, we have the 2 of Swords on the back of the deck here, which tells me that you might be in some form of an indecision right now. Like, there might be that you're at the crossroads, maybe you're blocked off from something, or you don't have access to something, or you might have a hard time maybe opening your heart up or feeling comfortable. Like, you don't really see clearly right now, whatever the situation is at hand. And I love that the Judgment is underneath that. So it's almost giving me that, like, behind this indecision or this blocked energy, it truly is the awakening of a kind. It is some kind of I almost want to say resurrection, or something that is happening for a divine reason. Now, this energy is very interesting because I feel like you might feel a little bit emotionally confused at this time, or emotionally hazy here with the 7 of Cups. Especially if you have maybe some options, or you have a lot of options in front of you, and you don't really know what to choose, or you don't know which way to go, or you might be a little bit like, kind of like pulled in many directions in the mind, I almost want to say. You know, the Devil is telling me that this might be a pattern, or this might be some kind of I do feel like it is a pattern of yours where you might be in this indecision and maybe having a hard time following your intuition on certain things, especially when there's a lot of decisions in front of you. If you do struggle with some form of addictions, like, let me tell you, if you struggle with some form of like a toxic relationship, toxic energy environment, this might really affect your decision making, or affect the way, like, you know, affect a progress in a certain place in your life. I feel like this can be, you know, Devil energy can be many things. It can be fear as well. Fear of letting go, or fear of allowing yourself to be held or led by something that is unseen and unpredictable. Now, it's interesting that we have the Queen of Swords and the King of Pentacles energy here. Like, this could be literally about a connection. Maybe you're blocked off from someone, or you don't really know how is this turning out. There is like a really big difference between these two counterparts, because the Queen of Swords is very assertive, very dominant, very much a Gemini energy. But she's also kind of clear, honest. She has the ability to be in her head a lot. However, the King of Pentacles is a very grounded energy. It is very like led by actions, very these two essentially have different needs in a connection. Now, it's interesting because I feel like this could also talk about you. Maybe you need more grounding. You know, this does remind me a little bit of my brother. He's a Gemini. And he has a he's very much airy in his head all the time. And he has a very hard time grounding himself in a 3D, in the more calm presence of life. You know, Geminis can be very scattered all over the place. There is like this duality to them. They might have a hard time deciding what like actually to do, and maybe they have a hard time maybe even committing to certain things for long enough, because Gemini is so multifaceted. They want a lot of things and they can do a lot of things. They're very highly intelligent. They have the ability to very much rationalize a lot of things in their life, but sometimes they need to be more connected to the ground, more in the real 3D world, more grounded. I feel like grounding practices might help you a lot. Just like meditating, or like sitting on the ground somewhere and like trying to think of all the parts of your body that are touching the ground. This is a very great practice. But also like being very present. You know, grounding is actually being really present in what you're doing right now. What I see, like, this is interesting. I'm talking about my brother right now. He has like this thing where like he's doing something, but his mind is somewhere else. And it's this scattered energy that completely, I feel like really does affect his nervous system, but it also doesn't make him really focused on what he's doing right now in the moment in time. So you might have like call or a need to ground yourself more often, especially because Gemini energy is very airy, and it's quite disconnected from the earth realm. If the partner that you do have might be an earth sign, they might be a great partner to you, because they truly ground you in the real life. And I feel like can help you ground yourself in a way that is focused on certain things. Now, it's interesting because the Queen of Swords is here kind of pointing at the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is like very intuitive energy. The High Priestess is the unknown. It's the subconscious. It's the power of the feminine intuition, right? I don't know how much you're connected to your intuition. Maybe there's a situation at hand where you don't really know. Like there is like this blocked energy. You don't really know what to do. There might be an indecision about a partnership or about like some kind of a situation in general. And I love that the 8 of Cups is here underneath, clarifying the High Priestess, which is telling me something about letting go. And there is something that needs to be let go here. If you are struggling right now to following your intuition on something, I feel like whatever the situation is at hand, you are being called to follow your intuition. But if you might have a hard time with letting go of what your intuition is actually telling you. So if you feel like it's not about how you think or what you think is right, it's about how you feel. If you feel like there is a situation at hand that you can resolve, you need to let go of how that is going to happen, or let go of needing to know everything in a certain situation, especially if this is about a partnership. I feel like maybe your intuition is telling you to walk away from something, maybe walk away from multiple options, walk away from some kind of toxic dynamic or a pattern that is being repeated. You might, it might be maybe out of your comfort zone, or it might be putting you in the 2 of Swords energy, where I feel like there is a decision that needs to be made, especially a decision that is followed through by your intuition completely and not what your rational mind is trying to tell you. Once you let go, allowing things to unfold as they are supposed to, kind of energy. So yeah, this is a very interesting energy. I feel like you do have the ability to be very connected and very much led by your intuition, but you might be very airy in the head and you need some form of grounding, some kind of a practice, something that is that is pulling you out of your head and that is putting you in the present moment completely. So you know, shut up, the voices, shut up, I know how that feel. So kind of it is the practice of learning to trust the unseen and following your intuition, especially when it's telling you that it's time to walk away from something or someone at that. And you might be stuck in this indecision, but I feel like your heart already knows what's the right answer. You just need to trust it and walk away into the unknown, because that way you will only be able to move past this situation. It doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't mean saying goodbye to a person, but if it's something that you feel is the right thing to do, then there is no question in that. But if you feel like you need to let go or distance yourself or need some time to maybe come back to yourself or ground yourself more to have some kind of more clarity, then that's the right thing to do. You're the only one that knows what's the right thing to do. But it's not something that you think is right, but something that you feel in your gut is right to do. So yeah, my dear Gemini, this is the reading for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, my dear Cancer people. Today I have a short message for you. So we have some cards in front of me right now. We have the World clarified by the Knight of Wands, Page of Swords clarified by the Six of Wands, the High Priestess clarified by the Eight of Pentacles, and we have the Six of Pentacles on the back of the deck, which I really, really love. Listen, I haven't. Okay, so the World here is standing out to me because the World talks about completion of cycles, endings, or like a full circle of a situation. Now it's interesting because when the World comes in first as like the first card in a spread, they often talk about the opening of a cycle or a cycle in general. And I love this energy because it's clarified by the Knight of Wands. I feel like you might be stepping into a cycle where you're led by passion, or you feel more inspiration to do certain things. You might be entering a cycle of much more inspired action taking or working towards your passions. Maybe you have some goals or some I feel like you're working on something that is that might be making you worldwide. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like this group, this reading for my Cancers, you might be stepping into a public eye, especially because we have the Six of Wands and the Page of Swords. You might be discovered in some form of way, maybe going viral if you're on social media, or just being recognized in some form of way. I feel like you're stepping into some form of like being really seen, and it's because of the work that you're doing and the work that you're putting in. You might be meeting a lot of success, or there are news that or communication that is coming your way that is going to be that is going to bring in a lot of the success. Now it's interesting because we have the Six of Wands and the Six of Pentacles on the back of the deck is telling me that your efforts are going to be met halfway. Whatever you're working on right now is going to prosper for you. Universe, I feel like, will kind of pour down into you. You might receive some help from someone, something significant, or there is a reciprocated energy in the universe for you right now. Like how much you put out is going to be met halfway. Now it's interesting because we have the High Priestess and the Eight of Pentacles. You might be first thing that I'm getting that is that you might be working on your intuition, or how much you follow your intuition, or the way that you follow it is being really like upgraded at this time. Like you're trusting it more, or you're kind of mastering the unknown. You're mastering the parts of yourself that knows things, or like your intuition. You might be connecting it to it more, or you might be literally mastering the way that you're connected to your intuition, and by following it truthfully, you're really being met halfway by the universe. Now, what is interesting is the Eight of Pentacles is working on something, improving something, mastering something, right? So I almost wonder if like you're mastering a craft that you're doing, or you're working towards something in an intuitive way, maybe a little bit from an unconventional way, or maybe you're following your intuition on how you're working on when you're showing up on your work. And sometimes you might wonder, is this the right thing to do? But universe is saying that you're doing everything right, especially because you might be following your inspired action, rather than like, you know, is this what I should be doing? No. Wait, what I wanted to say. Like following what you feel like doing at a time, instead of what you should be doing today, right? And that might be a little bit challenging at first because it puts us in this unknown energy where we don't really know how is something going to turn out. But the universe rewards us for like following the unknown and truly working on something, you know, believing in more and in a higher version of ourselves that is being led through that intuitive insight. Like, especially like, for example, I don't know, you have 5 tasks to do today. If you don't feel like doing those 5 tasks, I feel like you have the ability right now to postpone some that you don't have to do and come back later more inspired to do these things, which is creating massive progress. And I feel like it's mastering this part of yourself that is allowing things to meet you halfway. And I love that energy because we have the temperance here as well, the powerful energy of an alchemist, powerful energy of like the balance, choosing balance, and also alchemizing emotions, alchemizing the energy, especially if you feel like maybe there is negative energy around you. I feel like you have this ability to transmute it into power, into money, into income, you know. I'm feeling really called to talk about this Anastasia. She's a witch on TikTok and I love her. She's like the goddess of fortune. She always says like, whenever you see me, you'll come into some money. Maybe you know her or maybe she's somehow significant. She really is teaching this alchemy energy, which I really love. I love her content. I love, like, she's so beautiful, so gorgeous. I love her so much. Like, I don't know why. I feel like maybe she could be significant, or maybe you are a witch, or maybe you have this kind of deeper understanding and deeper knowledge that is helping you right now on this path. Now, I feel like the main message is that like this cycle that you're in is going to bring a lot of success. You're going to be seen and recognized for whatever it is that you're doing. It might be in your community or it might be genuinely on the internet, if you're doing something related to that. And you know what? If you have some kind of a project that you've finished, some kind of a passionate project, this one is going to be a great success for you. If you've been wondering about finances, I feel like you will be met halfway. Universe will pour into you because you deserve it. You have followed your intuition. You have come to a certain point where I feel like right now all that you're doing is truly helping you, build you in a way, and it's going to bring a lot of success. I feel like the success that you're facing, I feel like it is the product of your hard work throughout the years. And I feel like universe wants you to know that it's okay to relax now. It's okay to rest now, and rest assured that like whatever it is that you're working towards is truly going to pay off in a long run, and it might create a legacy. You might go worldwide. You might be a very fun person to be around. You might inspire the world or a lot of people, or you might also be working through or like to a sense of wholeness within self. You might also be working on your body because I'm seeing a lot of bodies here, so I almost wonder if like special beautiful curves and stuff like that, which I love. There is something that is completing right now, or you're stepping into a cycle where you feel very much complete in some form of way, which is allowing you to take more inspired action towards things that you're doing. And this cycle is allowing you to be recognized, yes, be met halfway for all the hard work that you've been doing. I feel like this season is about payoff. This season is about like literally enjoying the benefits of your hard work. And I absolutely love that. So yeah, this is a message for you, my dear Cancers. I love you so much, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Hello, my dear Leos. Welcome to your reading. So, I have a short message for you, and I have some cards in front of me. We have the Four of Wands clarified by the Ten of Wands, Two of Swords clarified by the Page of Swords, Two of Wands clarified by the Ace of Wands, Four of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, and we have the King of Swords on the back of the deck. Okay, so you know what I'm picking up on? I don't know if you're wondering about a certain connection in your life, or this is about stability in your life, because we have 4-4, we have 2-2 as well. So this could be either about a partnership or about your personal stability. Now, when it comes to this stability, this joy, this maybe celebration in life, or like just feeling at home, or maybe you're home as well, there is something heavy here. There's some kind of a burden that you're dealing with right now, or you might feel like you're carrying too much responsibilities right now. And this might be blocking your passion. This might be blocking your the part of yourself that creates and feels inspired and creative. Especially if you're doing something creative, you might be going through a burnout, or you might feel kind of blocked off from something, or not seeing a situation clearly, or there is a decision in hand that is needed to be made right now. Now, if this is about a connection, I feel like this is something that maybe requires you to be in the analytical mental energy, or be very kind of like sharp, very decisive about this thing. Especially if, you know, if this is about your personal stability, this might be something that requires discipline. It requires dedication. It requires analytical, strategic thinking. And if this is something that you feel blocked off from, I feel like there is an opportunity for you to understand why this is something that is blocking you, or why this energy feels unsure right now, or at the crossroads right now. You might be carrying a lot. You might be carrying responsibilities, or like maybe people's problems that are not even yours to deal with, and you're being called to release that. Now, it's interesting because I feel like being in this mental energy, maybe you are being called to be in more of a mental energy, even though there's a lot of wands. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're always like following your passion, or very much living life by following inspiration rather than critical or analytical thinking. But I feel like whatever this decision is at hand, I feel like it could be blocking your passionate thinking. You might be like, it's interesting because, you know, the Page of Wands is kind of the child energy, which I wonder if like you haven't been feeling like a child lately, or like you haven't been allowing your inner child out to play, but you've been very like focused, or very in your responsible energy. Now, it's interesting because we have the Two of Swords, which is kind of blocked off energy. But the Two of Wands is the planning. It is the seeing the bigger picture, looking at the bigger picture of things. So you might need, whatever the situation is at hand, especially if it's about a connection, you might need to step back and look at the situation as a whole to have clarity. Now, if this is about a connection, this might be something that will require initiative, that will require taking the first step and expressing something that is being held back. If you're holding back something from your partner, or somebody that you really care about, something that you need to express, that you want to express, I feel like inspiration for life and for anything in general might come if you take initiative and if you express how you truly feel. That can sometimes be hard. That can sometimes, you know, expressing how we truly feel can scar our ego, because like, what the hell am I doing? But sometimes that really helps us in every area of our lives. Sometimes when we express what's on our hearts, we release the things that we've been carrying for so long. And if this is about your stability in general, I feel like what is blocking your inspiration or wanting, it's interesting because I keep like blocking myself, and it's interesting, like you might be feeling blocked in the area of creativity, or pursuing some kind of a passionate project, or some kind of an adventure, something creative, I want to say. And especially if this is about finances, if this is about your personal happiness and stability, or in a connection, or in your home, this is something I feel like that requires definitely looking at the bigger picture, maybe even planning ahead, or being really strategic, but in a way that inspires you rather than drains you. You might need to transmute certain energies. So going from like being really blocked off to being open to a wider picture, or a wider opportunity of things, right? So you might be like, if you're having a decision at hand, you might be looking only at like two possible things, or two possible ways that this can turn out. But you need to kind of stand back and see all the possible ways that you can go about a certain thing. And I feel like by looking at like the overall of something, or being very analytical and very like logical about this certain situation, you are able to, I feel like, cultivate inspiration, or hear the inspiration, or understand where have you been holding back or where have you been holding on to something very tightly, or an idea. But I feel like whatever this is, what is going to help you is definitely expressing something. You need to say something. You need to say something, maybe to someone or to yourself. Maybe, you know, say something out loud that is really like bugging you. Sometimes when we're like when we're thinking about something and when we're really like confused, we don't realize how helpful it is to talk to ourselves, by ourselves, about it. And if you feel like you need to express something to somebody, this is a great time to do it, and I'm encouraging you to do it because this might free you in more areas of your life than you actually realize. Also, in this next period of time, you might want to say yes to opportunities that are new, that are fresh. And I also feel like maybe this time that is happening right now, you're releasing a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're going through this energy of cleansing that is allowing you to step into this cycle or this new beginning that is led by more intuitive insight. You might be getting a lot of signs from the universe. Maybe you want to like read into those. If you've been seeing repeating angel numbers, you might want to see what those mean. You know, Four of Pentacles here is holding on to something too tightly, especially if this is something that you're really passionate about. Like if you're a creator of a kind and you've hit like a block, universe might be calling you to release the idea of how this might turn out, or how, or the way that you're going about it, but expand yourself to all the possibilities or all the ways that you can create that doesn't dim your fire, but rather expands it in a beautiful way. So yeah, my dear Leos, this is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, my Virgos. Welcome to your message. And this is what I have for you. We have some cards here. We have the Hierophant clarified by the King of Wands, the Hermit clarified by the Queen of Cups, King of Swords clarified by the Three of Cups, the Sun clarified by the Empress and the Judgment, and we have the Four of Wands on the back of the deck. And I love that the Four of Cups is... Ooh! We have the Emperor as well. So 444 could be significant. You might be seeing that number. It might be significant to you. The 4 is our energy of stability and foundations. Now, I know you're inquiring about a person. I just know that like, there is somebody on your mind that you probably want a committed relationship with. This may be someone who is quite different to you, or like in some form of way they operate differently. If you're inquiring about a feminine, this is somebody who is very connected to their emotional field. If you're inquiring about a masculine, this is somebody who is really like logical. They go at things from a logical standpoint, and there might be a little bit of a disconnect there because you both have different ways in which you approach the connection. Now, the overall energy being the Four of Wands, you have the opportunity. I feel like this is the energy of reunion or a union. There is a reunion on the way, okay? Or a union of two souls on the way. Now, it's interesting because we have the Hermit and the Queen of Cups here. So I wonder if the feminine energy is in deep reflection right now. She might be reflecting upon the belief systems or the connection in general, because I feel like this connection might be challenging both of y'all's perception on how connections are. You know, the Hierophant is a very conventional way of commitments, but it's also like two people who might have like same beliefs or same morals, but in some ways they're also kind of like disconnected in a way. And this connection might be very spiritual. It might be healing you both, or like teaching you both something. Now, I feel like for you, whoever you are watching this, I feel like this connection might be shedding a light on the parts of yourself that feel comfortable receiving, and the parts of yourself that feel something about your confidence. It's interesting because with the Emperor, some of you might be pregnant. And if that's so, I congratulate you. If you want to be a mother, if you want to, you know, be a father or whatever, this is something that I feel like for the feminine will be a very self-exploratory journey, but the masculine here will be celebrating. Like if somebody out here is pregnant, like the masculine will be like throwing parties, like, yo, I'm a dad, brother. Like this is honestly, like, but this is not for all of you. Now, for those of you who are not interested in that, I feel like this connection is definitely, I feel like giving you clarity and awakening you to your power of receiving, feeling comfortable being seen in every way, emotionally intimate with somebody. And this might also, interestingly enough, this might be a connection that is very passionate. You might share a lot of passion with this person. So I almost wonder why, because these cards are very, very positive. So what is the question here? Like, what is not like clear here? It's interesting. We have 3-3 as well here. I feel like it's just like maybe sometimes these two people can have a little bit of a disconnect because the way that they see and approach emotions are very different, but they can be worked through, and these things can truly be brought into stability. You know, if you know, with the Four of Cups is kind of like dissatisfaction or like boredom. So I don't know if like maybe if in your connection you might be reaching energy of boredom or feeling. Maybe I feel like the feminine here needs to isolate for whatever reason, or the feminine here needs time to kind of look for some answers or something deep within what she really wants and how she wants to show up in this connection, or this connection is genuinely triggering her need to go inward. I feel like the masculine here will initiate the union or a reunion. I feel like this masculine here wants the happy times with the feminine, but the masculine here is very logical. So like he might not always understand why the feminine is feeling certain ways, because the masculine always like kind of takes his emotions through logic and tries to explain himself or how he feels in a very logical way, which to him it makes sense. But this masculine might need to kind of like soften a little bit more into understanding that the feminine energy is the more kind of receptive and more gentle energy. So like, meanwhile, the masculine here might always know how he feels, or always like this masculine is very honest. Let's be real. Like this masculine is somebody like he doesn't beat around the bush. He's very direct, very straight, honest. This might trigger the feminine a little bit. But I feel like the feminine here has the kind of emotional depth that allows her to, I feel like, see things from a deeper perspective, right? And this might be a connection that like literally like you might be married to this person for all that I know. But I feel like whatever it is that you need clarity upon, that clarity is coming there. With the Judgment and the Empress, there is some form of an awakening here that is coming in. And with the Sun as well, like the Sun is clarity, masculine energy, seeing something for what it is, like shedding a light upon something. And it's definitely some kind of an awakening or a realization about the I feel like love in this connection, maybe even you know, as I said, pregnancy, or I feel like the receiving part, the receiving, the allowing for things to unfold naturally and not trying to control anything. It's interesting because whoever this is, I feel like you two share a very genuine connection. You might feel like a home to each other. Like literally, there is something about like being very happy together. You will be celebrating something. You will be celebrating something, okay? And I feel like you will have like a lot to celebrate, okay? A lot to celebrate. This is a very good energy, but as I said already, like this connection is, I feel like it's very beautiful, but at the same time, it kind of challenges both of you, or the parts of yourselves that I feel like need to be acknowledged. Like I feel like you might kind of like how do you say that in English? You might be feeling each other, the parts of yourselves that need to kind of be seen and explored more. So the differences that you two have might be the parts of yourselves that are still not kind of realized or still not tapped into, but you can meet halfway by understanding each other on a deeper level. So if the feminine here understands that her man is very analytical, very, very logical, she might not I feel like it will be easier for her to understand that like the way how she feels. For the masculine, like if she expresses how she feels, the masculine will I feel like understand her completely, but will not always know how to meet her halfway. Maybe the queen here needs a little bit more emotional expression, knowing what, like telling her what she needs, because I feel like the masculine here is very honest, very direct. The masculine here, like he understands, but he needs to be told logically in a way, while the masculine here I feel like he's very honest with the feminine, but I feel like he needs to start asking questions like, I don't understand, why do you feel like this? Can you explain to me why do you feel like this? Or like how can you run this through my logical system, so for me to understand, you know, masculines are often more logical than feminines. So yeah, I think this is it, guys. Love you so much. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, my beautiful Libras. This is going to be a short message for you of what you need to know right now. So yeah, we have some cards here in front of me. And starting off, we have the Nine of Swords clarified by the Five of Wands, Page of Swords clarified by the Queen of Wands, Nine of Pentacles clarified by the Nine of Wands, Six of Pentacles clarified by the Death, and then we have the Six of Cups on the back of the deck. Now it's interesting because we have the 999 here, and the nines are often closing of cycles, releasing energy, something coming to a close, right? We also do have the Death card, which is telling me there is like an ending and a new beginning at the horizon. And we have 666 as well, or 66 no, 666. So 69 69 6 okay. So what is really prominent to me is that, like, maybe right now or in the past, or I feel like right now, there might be some kind of an internal conflict. You might be overthinking a lot, a certain situation. There might be a lot of like noise in your mind right now, or like there's a lot of like scattered energy within you, especially within the thoughts, maybe between like actions that you should take, or what is next for you, or what is the right thing to do in a certain situation. You might, like, if there is a decision at hand that needs to be taken from like a balanced approach, right now you might be having a hard time to making a decision on something, but I do feel like the overthinking is really, I feel like, making you clouded. Now it's interesting because we have the Six of Cups on the back of the deck, and Six of Cups is like the past, nostalgia, past memories, things like that. There might be things from the past that are resurfacing for you right now, and I feel like these things are resurfacing for the reason that you need to release them. There is a way of being that needs to be ended right now. Now it's interesting because there might be conflict, maybe inner or outer conflict, maybe between you and another person, other people. There might also be like something pertaining to your independence. You might want your independence, or you might want a sense of stability within self, or maybe there is some kind of a limit, or you feel like there is limit or guardedness in the way that you show up in the world right now. There might be something something pertaining to your confidence that needs attention right now. So how do you show up in the world? Is that how you show up really authentic? Is it how the way that you want to? What it is, what this is kind of trying to tell you is, I feel like that a certain way of being or operating is no longer serving your highest good. Now it's interesting because I feel like what is ending here, or what is transforming, is I feel like how much you give and how much you receive. Especially if in the past you haven't been met halfway, this might trigger you in the present moment, especially when somebody maybe overgives or undergives. So I feel like you really kind of, your soul craves equality in things. And I know for the fact that Libras are kind of like the scales, right? But the Libras that I know have the hardest time deciding between two things. Like like the Libra, it's funny a little bit, because when it comes to decision making, you know, Libras have the ability to scale everything like perfectly and make the right decision rationally. But in real life, in the practice, Libras have actually a very difficult time deciding between two things, or multiple things at that. And so I feel like you're coming into the version of yourself that feels more balanced. And I feel like this time right now, this overthinking or this anxiety that you're having is trying to show you something. It's trying to give you information on how do you show up, and how do you, like, I feel like also if making decisions is an issue, making decisions from firm confidence, not always knowing. Oh my God, what the hell? I don't really understand. Anyways, I got some like money transferred to me, and I was like, what the hell, from where? I don't even fucking know. Anyways, that sidetracked me. Maybe you are waiting for some money. Maybe you need some like money. Maybe you feel limited right now in your finances, and this will be clearing out. I feel like this period will be ending, but it is coming up because it's triggering something from the past that needs to heal, that needs to be looked at differently, especially if you feel limited in your finances right now. There is something about, I feel like being more interested in taking action right now, especially if your mind is clouded. Like maybe you have like a very hard time knowing what to do now in a certain situation. But I feel like this is truly coming up for you to I feel like step in a sense of authority over your life, or to make a firm decision that needs to be made right now, especially if you have something that you're like really not sure what to do in a situation. I feel like the freedom lies between, like, I feel like choosing the middle path. Like if you have two things to choose from, can you choose like the middle path? It's going to truly help you, I feel like, in the next period of time. And I love that we have the Six of Cups, and behind that we have the Six of Wands. So this telling me that this situation will turn out great. I feel like there is going to be success behind the whole situation, or behind the whole current energy that is happening. We also have the Hangman here. So a change of perspective, surrendering what is currently happening, to, I feel like, have clarity and understand how much your decision making is really affecting your current circumstances in life. And I feel like this transformation, I feel like you might be this ending, if you had some form of an ending, I feel like it could have been due to like imbalance in giving and receiving. And I feel like if you've ended something recently, it was the right thing to do. And I feel like you're in this process of releasing a lot right now. And I feel like closing out a big chapter of life, of one way of being, to step into a version of yourself, I feel like receives blessings. And I feel like there might be also something about your inner child right now that is healing through this whole process. And I feel like you will be stepping out of this situation a completely new person. You might also be called to not listen to everybody else's opinion, but rather your own. And I feel like also follow your intuition when it comes to decision making, or when it comes to whatever the situation is at hand. Interesting. Love that for you. So thank you so much for watching. This is your message, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Hello, my dear Scorpios. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be a small message for you right now, or a short message. So I have some cards in front of me right now. We have the Three of Cups clarified by the Fool, Knight of Pentacles clarified by the Page of Swords, the Knight of Swords clarified by the Eight of Pentacles, and the Star on the back of the deck, which I really love. And we also have the King of Wands, the Ace of Wands underneath that. This is a very interesting message. So this, I feel like, message is really about your career, Scorpio. This is something about your long-term plans, long-term goals, things, or like the seeds that you're planting right now. You're stepping into a season where you're going to be celebrating. There's some kind of reward coming your way right now. And I feel like it is pertaining to something that you wished for, a wish fulfillment of a kind, something that you're working on right now. It is going to bring it's going to be fruitful, especially with all the fruit around here. I feel like you're stepping into a season where you're going to be celebrating your progress of whatever you're working on, especially if it's something personal, like a personal business. Maybe you're like on social media and stuff like that, because I see this swords energy, quartz swords energy. So it's interesting because I feel like whatever this is that you're working on, it has long-term potential. It is a long-term stability that is being built through patience, through learning, through improving, working on something. And you know, with this energy, it is kind of like long-term vision. It is not something that is done overnight, but it is something that has the potential to, like, I feel like, for you to create a legacy of a kind, you know? And you know, it's interesting because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. But then right after that, you literally have the fastest moving motherfucker in the deck, which is very interesting, because I feel like, you know, the ideas that you have about this, especially with the Knight, with the Page, I'm getting confused with the Page of Swords. You know, Page of Swords is very, very like interested. He's learning a lot, all like interested in improving. He has ideas. He's very curious about things, and I feel like your curiosity right now at this time is really helping you maybe learn more about this path that you're on right now. Now it's interesting because I feel like you might notice like really fast improvement in something, like especially because the Eight of Pentacles is like the card of the like mastery of what you're doing. I feel like you're moving really fast into the energy of mastery over your own path. Whatever it is that you're learning right now, whatever it is that you're I feel like improving and healing right now is truly helping you cultivate, I feel like, results faster than you maybe anticipate. I feel like you might be celebrating faster than you anticipate, especially if you're working towards something that will bring you benefits, especially, you know, if you're doing something online, you might also be creating or cultivating a community that is going to really support you. Also, you might be maybe called to take some risks when it comes to what you're creating, or, you know, step into the unknown, not really knowing how this might turn out. But if it's something that you really want in the heart, something that you wish for, you know, it is helpful for you to I feel like take leaps of faith. Now, you know, the Knight of Swords can sometimes, you know, be very reckless and like really fast moving energy, like doing something or wanting something to happen really fast. But in reality, we need to understand that, like, yes, it is possible for it to happen fast, but we need to take it slow. And that can be very fucking challenging. Let me tell you firsthand, like, taking something slow when we want it to move fast seems like we're not making progress the way that we want to, but in reality, when we take it slow, we do more focused work that is allowing us to improve faster. So moving slower or doing slower is actually helping you cultivate mastery faster, which is kind of contradicting energy, but it's truly it's truly a thing, which is ironic. Now, the star energy on the back of the deck is telling me that you're probably stepping into your star energy. Maybe you're being free of like showing off more of who you are. You might also go through some emotional healing right now, emotional renewal, not just emotional, but like I feel like physical as well. You might also be you might be also, you know, because this is Aquarius energy, and if you know, Aquariuses are very, very authentic, and I love that about them. So you might be stepping into, I feel like, a very powerful, authentic version of yourself that is actually cultivating these, I wanted to say rewards. So I feel like you will be rewarded for the way that you show up in whatever it is that you're doing. And the King of Wands being underneath, you know, King of Wands is a leadership energy. He's standing firmly in who he is. He's authentic. He's a go-getter. He's action taker, you know. I feel like all this comes naturally with embodying and truly standing in firmly in who you are, especially if you're doing something maybe out of the box, a little bit out of the ordinary. But, you know, we need more souls who are doing something authentic. It's beautiful, and you should keep doing whatever you're doing, especially if it's something personal or if it's like a long-term goal. I feel like universe wants to tell you right now that this might be something that will reap results faster than you think. This year might be very significant for you when it comes to you. I feel like you will be mastering something in your life that is going to help you cultivate results and rewards for your hard work. And I feel like you stepping into this authenticity, I feel like you know what to do, or the right way to approach a certain situation is kind of like, you know, you're taking it slow, but the mastery will be happening faster, you know, than you expect, which I really love, you know. And with the Ace of Wands, I wouldn't be surprised if universe will be sending you some signs soon, or like you might be getting like random inspiration or like potential for the future. King of Wands also tells me that like you're stepping into authority. You're stepping into your true self, and embodying more of that in the real world, feeling more comfortable, being vulnerable, or being more authentic in whatever it is that you're doing. So I also wouldn't be surprised if there are some wishes that are going to be fulfilled in the sooner time for you, which I really love. So yeah, you know, the Fool is new beginnings. So I wonder if you're stepping into a new cycle, where I feel like you're feeling more free and expressive, and also more curious about life, curious about the path that you're on. You might be finding out information about how you can pursue something or the path ahead. I feel like through genuine curiosity about life. You know, I'm just seeing a person like randomly Googling something, some kind of like random information. You might be someone like me who like literally like when I'm interested in something, I Google it. Like I don't care, I Google it or ChatGPT it. And it's one of those things that, you know, gives us this powerful knowledge that helps us, you know, nothing that like the books that find you. The knowledge that you have up until now, it's not for nothing, because it's all kind of has a very big purpose in whatever it is that we're doing. You know, sometimes, you know, I think about the way that I like all that I know right now. Like for a long time, for example, I have been reading cards for myself and for my closest friends. I don't really saw myself reading for a large collective of people. I mean, I could see myself, but like I really wanted to do art. And for some reason, like I struggled so much with like I kept burning out. And I wanted to draw so much because I was looking at all these other people who draw so much all the fucking time. And then I realized that, you know, it might not be something that like, you know, because for me, art is my hobby. And me treating it as a work, as business, did not work for me. But all that time that I didn't read that I read for myself, I was actually behind the scenes like learning a lot about the cards, a lot about intuition and all of that. And right now in this current moment in time, I feel like I'm in a season where like I can really like share all of this knowledge, and like all of this time that I wasn't reading the cards for any like anywhere online, it is truly kind of, it has played a big role in the knowledge that I have today and that I can share. I don't know, maybe it's significant for someone, but you know. So my dear Scorpios, I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, my dear Saggy. Okay, queen, okay, king. You're my gem. I'm a Sag too, so this is a reading for you, a short message for you. And we have some very beautiful cards right now. And I knew it. Like, this is our year, like the fire horse. Yes, ma'am. So we have the Empress, clarified by the Nine of Cups. The High Priestess, clarified by the Five of Swords. Queen of Cups, clarified by the Sun. Ace of Wands, clarified by the King of Pentacles. We also have the Six of Wands that popped out like just randomly on the side. And we have the Chariot on the back. And look at that, we have the King of Cups as well here. Ooh. Okay. So it's interesting because first of all, we have these two here. Ooh, aren't this the most powerful feminine energy ever? Like, what? Like, especially if you're a feminine, I feel like you have a very powerful energy to you. I feel like it's not only about the attracting and the creative power that you do hold, it's also your intuition. Now, the Empress here is clarified by the Nine of Cups, which is kind of giving me the energy of like emotional contentment, satisfaction. You might be very satisfied with how things are in the physical realm right now, or the way that you're creating. Maybe you're feeling really good in your body. Maybe your confidence feels really like on point, you know. Now, the High Priestess is clarified by the Five of Swords. You know, Five of Swords is kind of the inner conflict, or it's kind of like the kind of the battles that we can't win, like nobody wins kind of energy. So, you know, when it comes to the High Priestess here, you know, High Priestess is the unknown, the kind of the subconscious creator. It is the intuition, right? The knowing. So you might have like, it's interesting, you might get these downloads in your mind, maybe of the past situations or past energies that are just like surfacing through, and kind of like it might be putting you in this Five of Swords energy when you're like a little bit conflicted. But I feel like the universe is kind of planting these thoughts in your mind for you to not only release them, but I feel like to maybe choose a new narrative of how you show up or how these affect you. It's interesting because I feel like your intuition might be, you might be like very intuitive. You might be picking up on a lot of things. Like you might be having downloads left and right. And listen, I feel you completely. And sometimes that can cloud our like what are the signs that we need to follow? Like what the fuck is all of this? Yeah, I feel you completely. But you know, all of this, there are some battles that like we don't need to fight. We don't need to fight these in our minds. We can choose to just like dismantle them. But they do come off sometimes, and they sometimes cloud how the direction that we're facing, right? Now with the Queen of Cups and the Sun here, I wouldn't be surprised if there is something within your emotional field that is being illuminated at this time, or the way that you feel and your authenticity or how you show up is coming from a more emotional standpoint. You might be more being called to be more vulnerable or more open with yourself or with somebody. You have the King of Pentacles here, so there might be a person on your mind, you know, there might be a connection. This might be something new. Or it's interesting because you might also feel called to or inspired to ground yourself more, or to ground your emotions in a way, like especially if you feel like it's scattered or all over the place, or there are some like inner battles that are just coming up out of nowhere. You have the ability to kind of like, I feel like refocus yourself, or kind of calibrate yourself in a way, maybe through some meditation, some mindful practices. Now, I feel like right now with the Chariot on the back of the deck, you have some kind of a leader energy to you. You might feel like literally like you're charging towards something. And I love that the Six of Wands came here like on the side, because whatever is happening right now for you, it is leading towards success. You might be like going towards success or like being seen. If you're doing something online, you might go viral. You might be like really like stepping into the type of creative energy that is, I feel like, derived from not only your intuitive insight, but your emotions as well. The way that you love creating, the way that you love showing up in a maybe more vulnerable and a more intuitive way, more gentle way, more you way, right? And it is bringing success. I love that both of these are kind of giving me the Chariot energy, or like being on a horse or something. You might have a lot of inspiration, and you might feel really called to ground this inspiration, or like when you get the inspiration to do something, to just like go and do it. You might be having a good time creating something or doing something, grounding your inspiration into reality. But maybe sometimes you face these kind of like fluctuations in your intuition, like, and I feel like universe wants you to know that this is completely normal. Like, this is completely normal. And it's interesting because I'm seeing like the Chariot, which is the number 7, and we also have the 7 of Pentacles underneath the King of Cups here. So 7-7, maybe that's your lucky number, or you know, you've been called to this reading for 777 messages. And it's interesting because 777 is really the card of spirit, the number of spiritual mastery, sovereignty. You might be stepping into your sovereignty, or being just a natural leader. You know, we Sagittarius we are naturally born leaders. And sometimes at the beginning of our lives, we go through these things that are, we don't always feel like that. Not every Sagittarius feels like a born leader, but we all have that ability within us. And you might be discovering that about yourself, which is really beautiful. Now, if this is about a connection, I feel like, this might be something like, if you're a feminine, this might be something that is really putting you in your feminine energy, or is challenging that part of yourself, because you know, Sagittarius are like a very perfect balance between masculine and feminine energy. But Sagittarius is often lean more into the masculine energy, and sometimes in connections, you know, partners get to meet the other side of the Sagittarius, which is very feminine and very like very sensual. So you might be called to like lean more into the sensuality of things. Now it's interesting because if you're inquiring about a connection, your intuition might be clouded about this connection. It's because the way that you show up is and the kind of physical reality is what really matters in this connection. Now it's interesting because you might be in a commitment, or like soon, or like you might like this might, whatever this connection is, this person might take some initiative towards you, or you might have like you might become like a official with somebody, which I wouldn't be surprised. We have the King of Cups here as well, so this may be someone who really understands you, or who is a really good match to you in a way, because we have the Queen and King of Cups, which I really love that. And the King of Pentacles coming out, it's really grounded, stable energy. Also look at that, we have the Eight of Wands as well. A lot of motion, a lot of momentum in your life. And I really love that, because I feel like you might be stepping into a really kind of a leadership role over your life in a way that, like, I feel like you're receiving, or you're cultivating results, or your creativity is very heightened, or I feel like whatever you're moving towards right now is very significant. And I love this energy for you, because you're moving towards success. And also, you might one day become a CEO of a kind. You might be the biggest boss of the bosses, feminine or masculine. Like, let me tell you, I feel like the inspiration that you might be getting right now, or the things that you're called to do right now, might be really putting you into a spotlight of some kind, really putting you into a leadership role of some kind. Because, you know, as the overall energy, the Chariot is the willpower, it is the drive, it is the intention, it is the, you know, charging towards your goals, like feeling just like I'm going at it. And I love that. I absolutely love that. So I'm seeing that, like, overall what I'm seeing is that, like, you're really headed towards success, and any like emotional, any like intuitive scatterness that comes through is just a natural part of the progress and process, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. These things pass through. Ground yourself, and you have nothing to worry about, baby girl. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Hello, Capricorns. My dear Capricorns, I love you all so much. I'm a Capricorn rising and a Capricorn Venus. I love my Capricorns. Anyways, this is a short message for all of you who watch this video. And I have some cards in front of me. So starting off, we have the Magician, clarified by the Four of Wands and the Hermit. The High Priestess, clarified by the Death card. Knight of Cups, clarified by the Queen of Wands. The Lovers, clarified by the Two of Wands and the Justice. And we have the Sun on the back of the deck, which I really love. Okay, so the first thing that is standing out to me is the fact that we have the Magician and the High Priestess. Literally, the conscious and the subconscious creator. The conscious and the subconscious. The manifester and the intuitive, all-knowing queen as the High Priestess. So I do feel like whoever you are, you have a very great balance within you. You might be someone who is very like, you have might be a polarity to you, or like a very dual energy to you, which is really beautiful, because I feel like you have the ability to create. You might be someone who is very capable. You might know a lot of things. I know for a fact that Capricorns have quite a difficult lives that teaches them many lessons, ruled by Saturn. Like it's difficulties. It is hard. You know what's interesting? My dad interrupted me right now, and my dad is a double Capricorn. Oh my god, double Capricorn with the Scorpio moon. You might imagine, just imagine. Anyways, where was I? You have like all because of this bullshit. All because of the god damn it. Now I lost my side of tracks, my track of thoughts, I'm sorry. Listen. So why is this so funny to me right now? Damn it. You have a powerful, conscious creator energy to you. Like I feel like you're somebody who has gone through a lot, and I feel like this is kind of teaching you this wonderful independence that I feel like you're really capable of handling a lot of things on your own. And now I feel like if you've been manifesting something, something might be coming in. Especially if you're thinking about a specific person, there might be there might be someone coming your way for like an emotional expression of a kind, or there is a decision that is going to be made right now. Whatever it is, I feel like the outcome is going to be really beautiful. There is happiness. I feel like there is joy. There is clarity that is coming in. And I feel like this time around right now might be really shedding a light upon something in your life. With the Lovers here, this could very well be a connection, but it also can be a crossroads, a choice, especially because we have the Two of Wands and the Justice here. You know, the Justice is like the decision making, and the Two of Wands is also like planning in the future, looking at the things from a bigger picture, from a bigger perspective. You might be you truly might be standing at a crossroads of some kind, either about a connection, or about your masculine and feminine energy, or about your manifestations and what you actually want, which is really interesting. Now, you might have watched my reading of like you literally feel each other, because the Magician and the High Priestess are here, and I feel called to tell you, like, if you have a specific person in your mind, you might want to watch that video. It might be for you, maybe not, it doesn't matter. I feel like the masculine energy here, if this is about a connection, the masculine energy here is in some form of a deep reflective mode upon this connection. But I feel like this masculine is reflecting upon the good times, upon the I feel like the celebratory moments that you two shared, which is really beautiful. But the feminine here, I feel like, is going through some form of an inner transformation, some kind of a change. You know, endings are merely new beginnings. It's kind of that energy where the feminine energy here might be transforming, and you might be feeling this subconsciously, especially if you're very connected to somebody on an astral level. You might be seeing a lot of signs around this person, around this connection. However, the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Wands is giving me an energy of like an offer of a commitment, because the Queen of Wands is like loyal energy, committed loyal energy, but it's also an emotional expression that is coming from the heart, but it's also coming from confidence, like a confident expression of a kind. You might be receiving a confident expression from somebody, or you might be feeling called to be emotionally expressive with somebody, and that is going to shift the dynamic of the connection. Now, if this is about your life and your manifestations, or something that you are desiring, I feel like you have all that you need. With the Magician, you have all that you need within yourself, within your emotional world, to cultivate stability in a way. And I feel like this path is really going to transform the way that you follow your intuition, or the way that you are connected to your subconscious. You know, the Capricorns are very grounded. They're very rooted in the present moment. And I don't know, for example, a lot of Capricorns who precisely believe in intuition or follow their intuition, especially my dad, but he has a great intuition. My dad, like, he doesn't believe in this shit, none of this shit, but he be dreaming about things and they happen the next day. That's kind of, that's the crazy part, like, literally. And it's interesting, it's very interesting. So it might be that you're coming into balance, into a very beautiful balance between your masculine and feminine energy, or between your consciousness and your subconsciousness, like the subconscious being like the place of where, like, you store literally all your knowledge, everything, like the magical, the universal part of yourself. But the conscious, the Magician, is truly like standing firmly in that power and taking the necessary action when it's needed. So it's interesting because Capricorns hold a lot of masculine energy, and Capricorns have a very beautiful, or like a very powerful energy to them. Like, all Capricorns have this ability to be great bosses, CEOs. You have such great power to, like, for stability in life, and you crave stability, especially in partnerships. You crave long-term connections. You crave a loyal long-term energies. And I feel like you might be very good at making decisions, or like cutting through bullshit, being really honest. And this time is serving you for, like, I feel like seeing the light, or maybe even, you know, with the sun, being in your masculine energy in a way that is helping you cultivate a lot of stability for yourself. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're, like, really focused on your career. And I feel like the way that you will be expressing yourself through this career might be very creative, very confident. You might also be, you know, with the Queen of Wands and the High Priestess, like, you might be very intuitive, and you might be leaning more into that intuition, especially when it comes to decision making, or when it comes to partnerships and connections in your life. And I love that for you. I feel like your subconscious is transforming right now. How much you trust your intuition, your inner knowing, is going through a change, a shift. And I feel like maybe in your consciousness, in your everyday, in the way that you do things, you might be called to maybe hermit a little bit. You might feel called to maybe spend more time alone, focusing on your own stability and your connections in life that matter, your family. But you might also be called to go inward a little bit and see what is in there, like, what is hiding in there. What do you want? What decision are you going to make? Because whatever decision is in front of you, you will be making the right choice, because you will be making it from the heart. And I absolutely love that. So yeah, guys, this is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Hello there, my dear Aquariuses. My favorite flipping sign. My favorite flipping sign of the zodiac. I have a very beautiful message for you. Very short message for you. I'm an Aquarius moon, so I know. Rationalizing everything. The power of the mind. In it. Tell me in it. Like, okay, so I have some cards in front of me. Here we have the Nine of Cups, clarified by the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, clarified by the High Priestess and the King of Swords. We also have the Seven of Pentacles, clarified by the Ace of Wands and the Magician on the back of the deck. Listen, so I feel like this message, I feel like whatever you're working on, because I see a lot of pentacles, especially if you're working on some kind of a career, an independent career, if you're manifesting something, universe wants you to know that, like, your wishes will be fulfilled and that you're on the right fucking path. Like, this is the clearest fucking message of the day. Like, you are on the right path, whatever you're doing. I feel like whatever you're doing, it might be led really through intuition. You might be someone who is very connected to your intuition. Like, your intuition does not lie. Like, you are like a powerful fucking manifester, especially because the Magician on the back of the deck is the conscious creator. He's the manifester. He has everything that he needs to bring his intuition into being. Or you might have the ability of seeing the future, which is really interesting. A lot of Aquariuses have the ability to manifest the future. It's not the energy of manifesting the future, but predicting the future, literally. So you know, sometimes that's like a gift and sometimes that's a burden, but like I feel like for you, you might be discovering more ways in which you can use this as a gift. You might be doing something similar to this, or you might really have the ability of seeing the unknown or knowing the unknown, like literally walking the consciously and rationally walking the parts of your mind that are hidden, that are subconscious. We have both the magician and the high priestess here, so I feel like you do have like a very beautiful balance between your conscious and your subconscious. You're able to use that into your benefits. Now, the Nine of Cups and Six of Pentacles is kind of the energy of a wish fulfillment or some kind of a balance, equal receive, give and receive. So I feel like if you have some wishes or things that you're working towards, I feel like you will be met halfway, or there are some results and some wish fulfillments that are coming your way. And I feel like it's the universe's way of saying, it's interesting because I heard thank you. So especially if you're doing some spiritual work, I feel like the thank you from the universe will be how much you will be supported on this path. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is kind of the long-term energy, long-term plans, being committed to some form of a path. And that path might be really connected to your spirituality, or improving your mind, working on your mental energy, which is really beautiful because I feel like not only that you will be, I feel like, a master of yourself, a master of the mind. You have that ability within you. You are able to go really deep within the parts of your mind, but also staying rational in a way that this doesn't make you maybe go crazy or something. You know, and it's interesting because the Knight of Pentacles is kind of the long-term path, and whatever it is, if you're doing something that is a little bit less conventional or something that is a little bit different, your intuition and the way that you are in your, like, very rational in your mind is what truly leads you towards great success in your life. I feel like whatever it is that you're working towards, you have the ability to be led by your intuition completely in a way that is detached and in a way that is, I feel like, benefiting not only you but others around you as well. You have the ability to benefit others as well through the power of your mind. I feel like you're a very powerful individual, like very, very powerful. King of Swords energy is analytical, rational, also like decisive, honest, truth speaker. It is the leader of it is a leader, yes, but it is also kind of the energy of discipline, of structure, knowing, especially with the high priestess, an energy of knowing. So I feel like the path that you're on, I feel like the more that you follow into your intuition, the more that you understand how powerful you actually are, because you do have this ability to, I feel like, maybe predict the future. You may also have the ability to manifest whatever it is that you're thinking into being. You have a very powerful way of that your mind works for you to cultivate abundance. Now, it's interesting because Seven of Pentacles is the energy of working on something, planting the seeds. So you might be getting inspiration through something that you're doing or your everyday life, interestingly enough. But I feel like the signs that you get from the universe, I feel like, are helping you build something, are helping you plant the right seeds, are helping you cultivate something, some form of results, or something that you're working on for it to grow in your life. And you're really called to maybe follow the signs or inspiration that comes through. You have the ability to do that. So I feel like you're on the right path. You're following what feels true for you. And you have the ability to manifest a lot. You're a very strong manifester. Now, you know what's interesting? I want to say that your dreams could be very significant at this time. You might be receiving some downloads or things through your dreams. You know, I have a friend that is Aquarius, and he is a very interesting individual because he predicted a lot of things. Like, he would say something out of a joke and it ends up being true. And it's just like how powerful the mind of an Aquarius is. Like, y'all are very perceptive. Y'all are very spiritually connected, very powerful spiritual people, but you don't mix emotions with it in a way that is blurring what you see. You see truth for what it is, and it's really powerful, and it's helping you on this journey. I want to tell you that, like, whatever you are manifesting right now, it is coming, baby. It is coming. You have, like, that mind of yours, you have everything that you need, literally. And I feel like you might be also creating this balance between your masculine and feminine energy, or you're receiving through the subconscious your ideas and executing them as the magician, as the creator. You are the creator of your own reality, and everything that you imagine in this world, everything that you dream of, you will dream into being, because you have that power. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next reading. Hello, my beautiful Pisces. Today I have a short message for you. And so, let's see. We have some cards in front of me right now. The Nine of Pentacles clarified by the Star. Seven of Swords clarified by the Page of Swords. Seven of Wands clarified by the Justice. And we have the World on the back of the deck. And we also have seven. Ooh, we have two sevens here. The Chariot and the Seven of Cups underneath, all of that. So 777 could be significant. This might be your number, or you might resonate with it. Sevens are the number of spiritual mastery, sovereignty, and empowerment. It is a higher spiritual knowledge. And Pisces are the last, or the highest, kind of like the last. I heard somebody say it's the rainbow of the zodiac, but it's also kind of like the 12th sign, which is kind of like connected to the subconscious, the highest subconscious realms, right? You might be someone who is very like has intense dreams, or your intuition might be really on point, but you know, the Pisces can sometimes be emotionally clouded when it comes to intuition. However, they're learning through that process on how to connect through to their intuitive insight and the downloads that they're receiving in a more confident way, especially because I feel like the downloads that you may be getting are coming from like the feelings, and those feelings can sometimes be a little bit scary when you don't know how to rationalize what you feel, right? Now, it's interesting with this message because I feel like you're stepping into a cycle of a completion. Like there is something in your life that is coming full circle, that is closing, that is completing. I don't know if it's a major chapter of your life or a way of being in life. Or you might, you know, with the world, I'm also getting like, you're all that, you know, you have like you have the energy of being like really like whole, or you have the ability to be very whole in your life, to feel very whole, right? But it's interesting because I feel like this is really calling out to me. It's telling me that a way of being for you is over right now. I don't know what that means right now, but I feel like, you know, you're stepping into or being called to a version of yourself that is authentic and that is standing firmly in who you are. The Nine of Pentacles is kind of the energy of independence. So being fully independent, being yourself. The Star is an Aquarius energy, very authentic, very star energy. You might have a very beautiful body, beautiful features. You might be very like maybe called to independence, or discovering more of that within yourself. But there's definitely a part of you, the way that you show up in a world, or the way that you see yourself, that is healing at this time. Now, it's interesting because we have the Seven of Swords and the Page of Swords. You know, Seven of Swords can sometimes talk about illusions, lies, deception, and all of that. But for me, it always talks to me about a way of thinking that is self-sabotaging, or an idea with the Page of Swords, an idea that is sabotaging you in some form of way. So you might have some form of a belief or a thinking pattern that might be sabotaging you in some form of way. Now, the Page of Swords here is facing the Star again, which does give me that, like, there might be some kind of a mental pattern that is kind of blocking you from being who you truly are, or an idea about how you show up in the world that might be sabotaging your progress, or in some form of way affecting maybe your decision making, or you might be battling some battles with maybe other people that are not even yours to battle, or you might feel like there is some form of a resistance when it comes to being honest, or making some form of a decision. You might be called to in this next period of time to make decisions for yourself, and make decisions that are I feel like helping you rise above the challenges that you're facing. Sometimes you might be facing challenges and maybe it's hard for you to decide what's the right thing to do, but you know, the Justice is fair, being honest. The Justice is making a decision from a completely logical standpoint, cut off from her emotions. So if you feel like you might be very emotional at times, this is, I feel like, a place of mind where you can't make rational and good decisions. You need to come from a place of complete rational energy, and this might be something that you're learning how to step into, and being more of who you are unapologetically. Now, it's interesting because we have the Seven of Swords and then we have the Seven of Wands. So from the mind to the actions, the mind can sabotage your actions. And I feel like you might be stepping into this new, I feel like almost like a new version of yourself, or you might be completing the way that you did things before. There is some kind of a pattern, some kind of a way of thinking that is, I feel like, inhabiting you from enjoying the life that you've spent so much time cultivating. You might, it might affect your authenticity, the way that you show up, or you might not always be confident in the decisions that you're making. Sometimes you might feel like you're fighting against something. Maybe you're fighting against other people's opinions. What is the right thing to do? But in reality, you are the only one who knows what's the right thing to do for you. It's about trusting your own judgment. It's about allowing yourself to, be the guiding light, to stand firmly in what you believe in and who you truly are. Especially if you're very deeply connected to your intuition, and your intuitive nudges might be giving you messages that you don't always know how to, you don't always know if it's safe to trust yourself in a way. But I feel like a lot of your authenticity truly comes from that place, from that deep sense of self that is within you, the ability to see, the ability to know, the ability to be very intuitive and to understand things on a deeper level. You might be someone who understands things on a very much deep level, and maybe you have people around you who are very shallow, and that then calls you to make a decision of whether you're going to stay around these people and keep fighting for your place in this world, or are you going to be assertive, be the justice, be the truth teller. Seven of Wands is the energy of resistance. It's also this person, it seems like there's a lot of things tackling at them, but they're above all these challenges. So any challenges that you face, I feel like you're, more often than not, you're above them. You're above the people who might put you down. You're above the everyday challenges that we face in the world. It's just the way that you see it. So I feel like the main message here is that you are now either in a cycle, or you're closing a cycle of where a certain way or a certain thought is sabotaging what you do in life, or like a belief that is kind of tricking you, or a thought or a way of thinking that is tricking you, or putting you in situations where you have to be assertive, or where you have to fight for your place. You don't need to fight for your place. You need to just be. And people who are not going to understand you, they can go to trash. They can go fuck themselves. Because, in a world where you have such bright energy, because I feel like you do, we have to oftentimes then not fight for our place in the world. But it comes to a certain point where you understand, you have to shine your light anyways, babe. Fuck what other people think. Fuck other people's opinions. I know that they can be very meaningful sometimes, because especially when they're people who are very close. But not everybody knows what's good for us. The only people who know what is good for us is us. We're the only person that knows what is the right thing to do in the times of decision. It's helpful to hear other people's opinions, but when it comes to your own decision making, it's what you feel is the right thing to do. And other people shall not affect your decisions in any form of way. And so I feel like this chapter for you is really about standing firmly in your independence, in what you've built so far, in standing in your confidence, in your beauty, in your, as I said, independence, like maybe 10 times by now. But it's truly here to, I feel like, make you understand that the decisions that you're making from this point on need to be aligned with what you actually want, and not what other maybe want for you. And if there is something within you that keeps sabotaging you, like a way of thinking, a pattern, a thought, an idea, that right now needs to be healed. And that right now maybe needs attention. So you don't face, I feel like, conflict, or you don't face clashes of opinions, but rather I feel like be very, assertive and very decisive of what battles are you willing to fight. Oh, okay, very powerful, very powerful. Look at that. We have the Seven of Cups here as well. Seven of Cups is kind of like maybe being represented with a lot of choices, not knowing what to decide. And Seven of Cups is this hazy energy. And look at that. I picked up the Devil as well. But the Chariot is also like assertiveness, like willpower, moving towards something with decisiveness, like moving in one direction, like going at it, almost like a bull towards like the red fabric almost. But the devil is fear. It is sabotaging thoughts. It is patterns that are holding us back in some form of way. And those might be highlighted at this time for you to heal them and for you to complete a cycle and come to this wholeness. Come back to yourself. Come back to standing fully in who you are and feeling complete. All right. This is all I have for you. I hope this gave you some clarity. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.